This is the Loaded Radio Podcast.
All right, hey, it's Scott Penfold, and this is another edition of the Loaded Radio Podcast, and thanks for tuning in this week and every week. And a good one this week, man. I've got two guests, so it's a twofer, a double shot, if you would. First, I'm going to be speaking with the one and only Carl Simonich. He's the frontman for deathcore band Signs of the Swarm. Now, these guys have got the new album Amongst the Low and Empty, which dropped back on July 28th. We'll be talking about that and everything going on with that band. And then joining me for the second portion of the podcast, I'll be speaking with Old Drake. He's the frontman for English thrash metal band Evile, and they've got the new album called Titled The Unknown. And just a great British thrash metal band. And this follow-up to 2021's Hell Unleashed is sounding pretty badass. If you dig thrash metal, this is definitely a band you got to check out, man. So, a good show happening this week. If you are listening to us via YouTube, we just ask that you give us a like or perhaps subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. But if you are listening to the podcast anywhere else via, say, Deezer, Spotify, or even via the Loaded Radio app, then hey, just sit back, take it easy, and let's get the show going. Lots to talk about. First off, this guy here is the frontman for Signs of the Swarm. He's been with the band since 2018 as their vocalist, and he is a brutal vocalist, man. And this band now looking at album number 5 and been going for 10 years now, man. The name of the new album is Amongst the Low and Empty. New stuff from deathcore band Signs of the Swarm. David, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast, man. How you doing?
Fantastic. Just crawling out of bed.
Well, that's cool, man. I appreciate you getting up and talking to us here on Loaded Radio, man. I love the new stuff. It sounds so great, and I definitely want to dive into talking about Amongst the Low and Empty. But first off, I do want to talk about the band being signed with Century Media. How did that all come about?
It actually happened really fast. We finished our contract with Unique Leader Records, and then we ended up kind of just like searching around. We got an attorney, and then Mike Gitter, our A&R guy at Century Media, just like added me on Instagram, and he was like, "What's up?" And I'm just like, "What's up, old man?" You know what I mean? Because like Gitter's such an old guy. Like he's not old, but you know he's an older guy. He's been in the game for a minute, and sure. So he hits us up, and he's like, "Yeah, I hear you guys just finished a contract and you guys are looking for some new juice." And that's whenever we were like, yeah, let's have a chat. And he took us to Korean barbecue to juice us up a little bit, you know.
Oh, that'll do it.
I know, right? We're in LA, and we meet up for this barbecue, and we were under the impression like we were paying for our own food and stuff. So like we went in, dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably ate about $200 worth of food just myself.
Right.
And I remember he like pulls out the bill, dude, and like goes to pay for it, and it was like exceeded his like card like limit or whatever, like because you know on business cards you are only allowed to spend so much a day, blah blah blah. And sure. He ends up having to buy it with his personal card.
Oh, really? I'm sure he got reimbursed. I'm sure he
did. But I just think it's such a funny story because they're just like, yeah, this isn't working. And then he's like, well, I guess I just got to pull out my own personal card. And then they're like, we don't take American Express. He's like, I guess I'm taking my other personal card.
Oh, so were you guys signed essentially right there at the dinner, or what happened?
No, I ended up going over the whole long form negotiation back and forth, all the red lines, all that gravy. Yeah. You know, it took probably about like 2 weeks. About 2 weeks to get the signing completed, but it took about a month and a half to get the contract ready, roughly.
Cool. Who produced the album?
Josh Roeder.
Oh, Josh Roeder. Okay.
Yeah, I also had additional production handled by Josh Travis of Amir, Glass Cloud, Danza.
Cool.
And Cameron Loesch of Born of Osiris.
Oh, that's awesome, man. There's definitely some good people in there to do it. The tracks I've heard off of it already, man, just straight up brutality, like really, really, like just pulverizing, dude. Like tell me about the title track first off. That is the track that I love most off. That really sticks out for me. Tell me about the title track, how that came about.
The title track is supposed to be a reflection of my personal emotions and thoughts of present time. It was a line that I wrote back in my last album, Psycho Evile, and it kind of just resonated with all of us, and it became like the idea for the next record. And then it turned into, oh, this is going to be the title track of this record. And honestly, like, I didn't anticipate that, you know what I mean? I had a couple different names in the boat, and they didn't even get to the board just because the name resonated so well.
Also kind of an unsettling music video too, which is kind of cool. Kind of suited it, you know?
Like I was trying to get my director to try to like have the idea where there's this person that is being affected by multiple different people. And I tried to have it reflect on the 7 deadly sins, just as a common ground for people to relate to or whatnot. And like them, like all like fusing their blood in with this guy, like in the video, it's really dark.
It's
you know
dark,
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really dark. And it definitely hit the marks we were looking for, you know?
Yeah, and it goes so great because the song is just so powerful, right? So I think it really, really works so well, too. And tell me about Malady.
Malady is a song where like I really put my true life into a song. I have past history of struggling with depression, and I am a suicide attempt survivor. And that song is pretty much me putting my thoughts that I have lived with my entire life into a song.
How were you able to overcome those things?
A lot of therapy got me through it. Not the pills. The pills really don't work. Just having somebody to talk to. That's a really major important thing. And then finding something that can distract you and show you that life is worth living. I have a multitude of friends, family, my job. I had a lot of shields that were kind of preventing me from seeing what was around me and how my selfish choices could affect everyone around me. And very vulnerable song, you know what I mean? I had to dig really deep, and me and my producer were sitting there going back and forth, like talking about experiences and what I've gone through and people that I know that have killed themselves, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just sorry. Yeah, it's just real powerful, and just like really had to, it felt like it was needed. It was a nice conclusion, you know what I mean? Where like the vicious thoughts take over, you know what I mean? And it's just like the cycle re-begins, because if you listen to the record as in entirety, start to finish, the album loops back into itself.
That's cool, man. I really dig that. And you know what? A great answer, because good for you, dude, for pulling through that. That's fantastic. You know, putting it that way. No worries. Now
you're the first person to ask me what that song's about. Just
really?
Say out of the, like, I want to say over 100 interviews I've done in the last month, like you're the first person to actually ask me what that song's about. And I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries at all, David. No, thanks for talking about it, dude. I mean, yeah, thanks for opening up there. Well, let's get into the band itself, though, man. I mean, this latest lineup, do you see it like being cohesive, sticking together, like going together as a foursome?
Yeah, I truly do. But I've also felt this in the past. You can't predict working relationships. You know what I mean? And that was a problem that we had in the past with members. Sure. And whenever you're touring like about 2/3 of the year on the road for over 220 days, that's an important part. Just being a skilled musician just isn't it anymore. You know what I mean? Whenever it comes to networking and representing the brand properly and just being a good person, you know what I mean? Everybody works with that dickhead. You know what I mean? Like everyone's got one. I don't care where you're at. Everyone's got that one dickhead. And sometimes it takes some time to realize that it's actually hindering your success. I have a very strong feeling with this lineup. Carl is a great addition to the band. He has such solid energy. His work ethic and just drive is very impressive. He's a very skilled guitar player. I would hope that it works out for the best. You know what I mean? I believe that this is it. I would like to say that this is it, but you know, you never know. Like, I could have a kid and I could be going. You know what I mean? Right. You never know, dude. Fucking life happens so fast. Like, absolutely. Not everything has to be a bad conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people grow out of things that they're doing and want to take a different venture. You know what I mean? And so you never know what can really happen.
Yeah. Do you think that's why there's been so many member changes within the band? Is it because of that personality clash, or is it because things have happened in their lives, or is it a mixture of all these things?
Honestly, it's a mixture of all those things. The band's been a band for going on almost 10 years now. You know what I mean? We almost got that decade mark as a band, like, given it was before my time the band started, but the band is about to hit the 10-year mark. And if you think about people working at a job for 10 years of their life, how common is that? Yeah,
I know. I completely hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, even if it's like your dream job, you're going to get a promotion or you're going to get an offer to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a grand scheme of just life can really affect it. And if you see over the years, you could see what members are the members that are keeping it alive. Certainly. You know what I mean? And those are the people that really got to tip your hat off to, especially Bobby. Bobby has been a driving force for this band since I heard it even was created.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, so, I mean, taking on different roles and everything that he's done. I mean, the guy's a worker, man. The guy's definitely, I have mad respect for the guy.
Yeah, he is a straight craftsman artiste.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, man. Definitely, for sure. How would you describe the state of deathcore as a genre today, in your opinion?
In my opinion, and I might get some shade for it, but I actually think it's pretty stale.
Really?
I believe everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's trying to find some viral aspect thing of just, instead of just creating, everyone's like doing the same copy paste fucking formulas for videos and songs, and it's just like not as exciting, and it's just very predictable nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, now I put on a band, if I see their logo, I could probably anticipate what they're going to sound like. Right. I don't know if that's just because I've been in the like in the game for a minute or what, but like, it's like, I put on a track that just came out recently. Who the hell was that? Is Tactosa. Okay. That they definitely don't fit what I just said. Like, they're like, they kind of scratch the surface of that nostalgia deathcore. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, fucking kickball snares, fucking piercing highs. Dude's voice is great.
Right.
With that being said, there are other releases that have come out where it borderline sounds like people I know. You know what I mean? And it's just like, were you like listening to this record while you're making your new music? Because it's really noticeable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whenever it's like the same key progressions, like same transitions, same vocal styles, just trying to fit the mold, you know, and it's like, it's cool to see, you know what I mean? Because like the industry and the genre has grown so much, but I will say, like, I feel like that it's just kind of getting oversaturated again. You know what I mean? Like, there was this time where like, whenever I first like kind of was like putting in my miles with the band, and like, it was like deathcore was dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's this mass resurgence, like following the mountain climbing that Lorna Shore has done for our industry.
Huge.
You know?
Yeah.
I would say that would hope that the state of deathcore kind of gets a little more fun again.
What 3 albums would you particularly suggest for someone just getting into deathcore?
Ooh, hold on. I don't want to butcher the names because like I know the records off, like, you know what I mean, but I just don't want to butcher the name. A New Era Corruption by Whitechapel, 100%. If you don't,
nice.
If you do not listen to that record, you're missing out. I'd highly recommend for some modern, kind of like deathcore where it's not just like cut and paste deathcore. It is Darko, Death Mask Part 2. That record is fantastic. Tons of features from a bunch of amazing artists. And also Tom and Baby J fucking crush it. I would 100% that if you do not listen to this record at least once while you're in deathcore, you do not know. You have to listen to this record. This is like the priority record, in my opinion. If you do not listen to Unconsecrated by the Red Shore, I feel like, or The Avarice of Man, both of those records, you just have to listen to them. They're the most relentless fucking devastation I can, like, if they surfaced and they asked me to join their band, I'd be like, let's fucking go, dude. Like, it is just punishingly heavy, dude. Just blast beats is fucking crazy, bro.
That's awesome. Thank the great answers, man. What's going to be happening? Signs of the Swarm in the days ahead. What are you guys going to be up to?
We have some U.S. shows over the last and first weekend of July and August. Last weekend of July, first weekend of August. And then we have a couple days off, and then we take our venture over to Europe and to hit the festival circuit for our first time. We have a bunch of headliner shows over there, all over Europe and the UK. And then after that, fly home. I personally get married.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to make the adult moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
But after that, we have a full North American tour with CARNIFEX.
Oh, cool, dude. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, I'm honestly so excited to get the opportunity to share the stage with those guys. I got to tour with them in Chaos and Carnage, and they're honestly just awesome guys to hang out with and just bullshit with. Yeah. Fucking, they like having a good time. You know what I mean? They don't got like a stick in their ass where you're like scared to walk past them or some shit. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I get you.
And then we got some Christmas shows scheduled, which aren't announced yet, so I can't spill the beans on who we're playing with on that. And we're actually like booking into like summertime of 2024 right now. And a lot of stuff's like unannounced, and just our schedule's just getting packed up again.
David, this has been amazing talking to you, dude, and I am so hyped to hear the rest of the album. Can't wait to see you guys with CARNIFEX. You are the best, David. Hey, I'll see you in the fall then, brother.
I'll see you then, dude. Be easy.
There he is. That is David Simonich from Signs of the Swarm, and that new album, it is heavy. Careful with this one. All right. It's called Amongst the Low and Empty, and it's out now, dropped on July 28th. But hey, it's Scott Penfold here with you, and now into the second portion of the podcast where I am now being joined by Ola Drake. He's the frontman for English thrash metal band Evile. These guys are great. I mean, great British thrash metal band. Love these guys. And they've just released a new album called Title the Unknown. It's the follow-up to 2021's Hell Unleashed, which is available now via Napalm Records. Essential thrash metal listening. How you doing, man?
I'm not bad. How are you?
You know, I want to talk about the new album, The Unknown. First off, before we get into it, who produced the record?
It was Chris Clancy, the same guy as on the last album, Hell Unleashed.
Oh, yeah, is he like a hands-on kind of guy producer? Is he like almost a member of the band kind of a deal?
I wouldn't say he's hands-on. He just has really good ideas because his background isn't strictly in thrash and extreme metal. So he has some ideas that I would never consider. So it's really helpful.
Well, looking back at the work you did with Flemming Rasmussen, who's just a famed producer known for his stuff, producing the early Metallica albums, how different was it working with Flemming than, say, it was with Chris?
Yeah, it is a big difference. Fleming's a different kind of producer. Fleming's very much about the vibe of everything. And if the vibe isn't working, he says, this isn't working. We need to figure out what's happening. Chris is a bit more methodical about things. I think every producer we've worked with is vastly different in really weird ways.
Yeah, but working with Flemming Rasmussen must have been pretty damn cool, though. I mean, the guy's a legend, right?
It was cool, but it was also quite daunting because it was our first album. The label flew us to Denmark. We were in Sweet Silence Studios. We were recording through the desk that Lightning and Puppets was recorded on, and there was all these Metallica gold discs everywhere. And if I messed up on a riff, Flemming was like, "Oh, James wouldn't have done that."
Oh, really? Okay, that would have been pretty daunting. Yeah. Getting back to the album, The Unknown, though, tell me about the title track to The Unknown.
So the music came first, just like always, and we just wanted to explore some tempos that we've never done before. It's the exact same approach we've always done. It's just the speed was a bit different. When it came to doing the vocals and the lyrics, because the songs were a bit slower, the vocals are a bit more vulnerable, so you can't hide behind the drums as much. I tried stuff about like, typical demons and war and all that stuff, but it just didn't work. It wasn't meshing at all. And I just thought about what else I could do, and that was all I really know about, and that's myself and my experiences. So as soon as I started trying things, it clicked instantly, and I just thought it just happened to be this one song that I picked, that it would be about the fear and anxiety of becoming a parent for the first time back in 2017, and everything that comes with like, oh my God, what's going on?
Now, did you guys have a lot of input on the cover for the album? I mean, it's very dark, very cool looking. It's a great looking album cover.
Well, yes, but no. So it was our job to get the album cover sorted, but I spoke to Eliran Kantor. I met him at an exhibition in Liverpool over here. We've worked with him before, but it was more Matt that did the art for that album. And I just explained, I've got a song on the album. I told him a few songs, but I said mainly The Unknown. It's about the fear of becoming a parent. And funnily enough, he's similar age to me, and he also has kids. So he said instantly, like, I know exactly what you need. It's like, okay. And he said, well, what do you want? And I said, I just want you to have free reign, basically. But as long as it's dark, it's simple and striking, not typically metal in the traditional sense, and just maybe some blues in there, because we don't really have much blue in our covers. And he sent the draft over of what you see on the album now, and it was just it was that simple. It was like, wow, that's perfect, amazing.
One track I really do like as well on the album is Sleepless Eyes. What can you say about that one in particular?
So that's the one song that the lyrics weren't written by me. It's about people who work in the hospitality industry, from like working behind a bar to, that kind of work. And Joel actually worked in a bar and owned a bar. So it's kind of from his point of view in that, with like putting on a smile when you don't want to, and there's someone who's completely smashed and telling you all these lies, and just difficult jobs that people have that they have to grin and bear it through. And yeah, it's basically about that, I think, anyway.
Now, you guys have been doing this since 2004. Why thrash metal, and why is it so important to this band?
Well, when we started in 1999, and we were a Metallica covers band. And it got to like 2002, and we were playing these shows and people were clapping, and we were like, they're not really clapping those, are they? They're clapping Metallica. So we started thinking, let's put one of our own songs in there. Like, we had no vision and no goal other than we were playing these gigs and we want to do our own stuff. So we wrote our first song. I think it was Killer from the Deep. And we went from there. We just kept building. People reacted more to our songs than the Metallica songs at the show. So we just thought, let's do it. And there was no goal. We did our EP in 2002, a demo in 2004. No, 2004 and 2006. And we just happened to get signed at Bloodstock Festival, and the reason we played the music is just the reason we were doing the covers band. We just love the style of music, and the difficult thing back then was in like early 2000s, thrash was in quotes dead. They'd come to us at the gigs and say like, "Why are you playing thrash? It's stupid. No one plays thrash anymore." And a few years went by, and Municipal Waste, and we got signed and everything. Those same people would come to the gigs and be like, "Oh, you guys are so good. Thrash is amazing." Like,
And looking at the music scene right now, like in thrash metal in particular, are there any other thrash metal bands out there right now that you particularly dig?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time. I've got 2 kids and Evile to do, but I love like Havoc, Warbringer. There's a band in the UK called Tortured Demon that we toured with recently. Nice. Divine Chaos, and there's some really good bands out there, but I just wish I had more time to listen to more. But yeah, definitely, I love Havoc and Warbringer over there.
Now, going back to the 2009 passing of bassist Mike Alexander, obviously a terrible experience to go through with the band. What was that like on the band, and did you guys actually consider calling it quits back in 2009?
It was a horrible experience. I think even to this day, it's changed who we are and who I am. I think it turned off a few lights in me that haven't come back on since. We miss him so much, and going through it was, well, we had to drive all the way back from Sweden to home without him, which was it was bizarre. And we spoke about not carrying on our driver drove all the way home to the UK with maybe 2 breaks, which was amazing. And I think one of us said, I don't know who said it, but someone said, "Are we going to carry on?" And as soon as someone said that, I think we all collectively realized that, yeah, well, of course we're going to carry on, because it would be an insult to Mike to even consider stopping. So we just hit the ground running again. We looked for a bassist and we found Joel, and we were back out again not long after, because we were kind of riding a wave with being on Earache, and we didn't want to stop because of Mike, because we always agreed it was going to be just us 4, and if it ever wasn't us 4, we'd stop. But because of that circumstance, we couldn't.
And then you walked away from the band back in 2013. What happened there?
There was many things, and I won't say them all, but basically because I put my all into Evile, it was 24 hours a day when I wasn't asleep. I'd quit jobs. I was the main writer, and I was missing out on a lot because I couldn't have a job. I couldn't get money. I wanted a family. I wanted to go through all the normal landmarks that people go through when they're growing up. And I didn't. So I just said, you know what, I want to stop this. I want to go and get a job. I want to earn some money and have a normal life. And I genuinely said, I'm not doing music anymore, because it's no secret that, especially in metal, a lot of bands don't make a lot of money. So it just got to that point. It was a breaking point. It was like, you know what? We flew to Taiwan and back. It was like 12,000 miles round trip. And I think we made like £20, or maybe even lost £20. It was like, what am I doing? So it just became questionable, and that's why.
And of course, well, thankfully, you did come back to the band in 2018. Why the decision to return?
So the guy who replaced me stopped showing up for rehearsal. I'm not sure why. I have an idea, but I was speaking to Matt, and I just joked with him, like, if you need a guitarist, let me know. And he said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So I just got back with them, and it was just because, I missed it, and I had like my family life settled. I had a job, and I thought, it's a cool hobby to have. So I'll give it another go.
All right, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to us here on the Loaded Radio podcast this week, but all the best, man. And love the new album. Can't wait to see you out there on the road.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Scott. Take care. Bye.
That's old Drake. He is from the band Evile. And great British thrash metal, dude. I could just listen to their stuff. I'm a big thrash metal guy, so I've always got Evile cranked. I'm driving in the car or whatever. First thing in the morning with my coffee, throw a little Evile on. It's just perfect. But don't forget, check out loadedradio.com. On a daily basis, we are constantly updating that with all the latest news. As we got a big news department, they work hard on that stuff, okay? So 24/7 news updated. Also, the 24-hour radio station, The Stream, featuring live jocks, including yours truly, who's on there Monday to Friday, and other great specialty shows on there as well. Check it out for yourself. All free, and just a click away at loadedradio.com. Don't forget the Loaded Radio app. That's free as well. Download that wherever you get your apps, or again at loadedradio.com. And I will talk to you again next week on an all-new edition of the Loaded Radio podcast. Have a good one.
Loaded Radio.